Greetings. My name is Atia, and as you know, this is Ingram. And yes, we are a married couple, but we work together as well. And we've never really done a deep interview in terms of his journey from cricket coach to journalist, just really about his life. And I think it's something that it's important for people to hear to get to know the man that they think they know. And I say that very intentionally. So I would like to welcome you and introduce you into the world of Ingram Jones. And how are you today?
Fine. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I think it's been a fantastic day and a very profound and thought-provoking day. And I think it's befitting that I have the opportunity. You're always doing the interviews and you're always doing such wonderful interviews, but I think it's important that someone gets to interview you and really to be able to get to know the man behind the face, behind the cricket coach, behind the journalist. I think to get to know the man and his journey in a way that they haven't been able to. And so, first of all, thank you for inviting me to interview you and talk to you on a deeper level. So I thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, but one of the first questions that I wanted to ask you is I want you to go back as far as you can remember.
Okay.
And did you always know what you wanted to do with your life from day one? As far back as you can remember. I want to start there and then move to the present.
If I remember rightly, going way back, I think my first inspiration was Clark Kent as a journalist, working in this big city. And I always saw him walking into the office, and, just the idea of being in a big office with lots of people and finding out about stuff around the world and journalists traveling and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, and of course Clark Kent was connected to Superman. So yeah, that was the thing. I think 1976. I was born in 1976. I think Superman was 1979. I think the movie.
Okay.
But I think but that was my influence when I was young. And then I think then I was about 13, 14. My dad took me to the park. He wanted to show me how to play cricket.
Okay.
And he bowled a ball at me, and the ball hit a bit of concrete and it hit me in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "You've got a ball," and he turned around and he walked away. He said, "You've got a bat in your hand, use it. I've got a ball in hand, I've got to knock the stumps over." And the next ball I hit for 4. And that became my journey in cricket. And I promised myself when I was about 14, if I couldn't be the best cricket coach in the world, if I couldn't be the best batsman or the best player in the world, I'd certainly give it a good shot to be one of the best coaches in the world. And
before you get into your journey as a cricket coach, because you jumped from 1979 with Superman and Clark Kent, and then you jump to 14.
Yeah.
But you have those years in between, which are many people's most transformative years. And I want to know what was going on with Ingram Jones between those years. Where was your heartbeat? Where was your passion? What were some of the things that you did before your father took you to the park to play cricket with you, and that became a major part of your journey?
I think computers. Let's go back. It was computers. But it was then the BBC Micro 32K. 32K, can you believe it now?
Wow.
Yeah, we talk about gigs and 500 and 500 terabytes for like hard drives now. That's a hard drive, not even a computer system. And now 32K is like unthinkable. The BBC Micro was my computer, and first computer my mum bought me. And I remember having to get these computer games on a cassette.
Wow.
And it was. Yeah, that was my computer. That was my computer, and playing text adventure games.
Okay.
I was never great at school in terms of sport. I used to come third and fourth in sports days. So, yeah. I think those are the most prominent memories for me. And Daley Thompson, the decathlon. He was I think one of the world's greatest athletes. uh, and was a sort of role model figure. Puma, and then trainers and high tech, and yeah, and peer pressure. What shoes to wear, and because the guy in the class that had the best personality could get away wearing pink shoelaces because he did it, everyone else would follow him. Yeah, if you think about it now, there's no way you'd catch me dead wearing training with pink shoelaces. So it was just funny. Also,
So what type of child were you? And I'm going to get back to the age of 14 because that definitely began a journey for you in itself. But I want to know about the journey prior to 14. What type of child were you? What were some of your experiences in life? What lessons did you learn?
In all honesty, if you ask me what I was doing in secondary school, I had no idea what I was doing in secondary school. I think I only woke up in the year I was leaving secondary school because through those years of secondary school, I was always told I was a fusspot. I was always knew what was going on from the other side of the building, the school. That's my mum used to tell me that. But I guess that's just being part of a reporter. I guess when you look at it now, my thirst to want to find out what was going on in the world.
Okay.
And I believe that the educational system is that it's one shoe fits all. It's either you take what we teach you or you're a dunce. And that isn't quite the case because some people, as you know, they learn by drawing or by pictures. Some people learn by listening.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they call it.
Kinesthetic audio.
Yeah. And I think that hindsight now, I think with today's teaching methods, there's more variety in teaching. But yet still, we've still got the one shoe fits all. So I guess had I understood the importance of school, the thing that I value was my cricket bat. That was my girlfriend. That was my lover. That was my life. And of course, my faith in God. That is, but it was I had a faith in something. I believed in something. From young, but not knowing what it was. It wasn't till kind of further down in my late teens that I understood that. And sitting down in a corner on a tree as a primary school kid, when all the other kids are playing football, they were mucking about playing sports. I think I'd sit in the corner of this tree and just sit down and talk to my friend about life and why I feel so different. Yeah, that's what I remember.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so move it up to the time that your father took you to the park and he said that you had a cricket bat.
Yeah.
He has a ball.
Yeah.
What happened from there? What significantly changed in terms of your mindset after that experience?
I think it was purpose, wasn't it? It was having purpose to have something to do that I've had some interest in. My Spider-Man comics. My mum would buy me Spider-Man comics. I'd get the Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, the all-new Spider-Man. So there were 4 comics that came out every week, and my mum would order them. I'd get them every week. And then my mum, because I got a bad school report, she stopped them all. So then I became a writer, and I started doing drawings and stuff like that. And Barbie dolls. I remember playing with Barbie doll. I had just attraction for a Barbie doll, but I never understood why. I'd be combing the Barbie doll's hair and never understood why I was doing it. There's things I never understood. And even let's go back to primary school. I remember once wearing my Spider-Man suit and going to school with my Spider-Man suit. And when the teacher going out the classroom, I turned and put my Spider-Man mask on, and the teacher came and said, "Miss, I'm Spider-Man." Of course, that probably didn't go down very well. The classroom.
Oh, what happened?
Well, of course, it was reported to my parents, and they thought I was Spider-Man. And well, of course, they knew I wasn't Spider-Man. I was trying to climb walls, and I couldn't climb walls. Yeah. I think the fantasy world, I had a better connection, better reality with that than the actual reality of the real world. So I'm not sure how much of a happy time I was having in the real world growing up.
What were some of the things? That's a very, very good point, a very deep point that you just mentioned. So what was the difficulty in the real world as opposed to the embrace of
I think acceptance, because I was different, still am different, and people don't like different. People like same. People don't like people like creativity that they control. People like creativity that they can understand. People like creativity that they can copy. People like creativity that it's easy for them to take a grasp of, take and copy. People struggle when something's slightly outside the box, something's a little left field or right field, and because as a teacher we must mold them a certain way. They've got to be a certain way, and well, you must learn this way, and if you don't learn this way, and if you don't do this and you don't do that, and you don't fit these boxes, then you're outside the box. It means you're a bit of a crazy so and so. Of course, when I was young, I mean, I didn't speak till the age of I think 9. I'm speech therapist, but then when I spoke words that my mum thought was quite big for the age I was. I was just having full-blown conversations, and it's even then being told I spoke too much, talked too much. But you know,
that's interesting. So you were told that constantly as a young person that you talked to,
and then being and then being compared to. There's always somebody else that was better. There's always some other boy that was better. Some other boy did better. Some other boy did this. Why can't you be like him? Why can't you be like him? Yeah. Why can't you be like him? Why can't you be like him? Why can't you be like him? Yeah. I'm glad I wasn't like him because he went to jail. I didn't.
So when someone is told that at such a early age, I mean, I know that you have spent a significant number of your years coaching young people, and you have a profound connection with young people as well as animals, but we'll get to that later. But what sort of impact did that conditioning have on you as a young person? And how did you use that negative aspect of your life to do better in terms of when you worked with young people?
I think the church was the connection.
Okay.
Very young in my life, I reached out to the church. I mean, you know, my dad wouldn't take me to church. I had to make my way to the church.
Okay.
My dad in my younger years, we were talking 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, cricket was the one thing I understood, and I understood it well. And I understood to the point where, look, I'll tell you how cricket was for me. One day I went in to have trials, and the teacher said to me, "You can't play this sport. You're not good enough."
Wow.
And I swear to you,
wow.
It was 2 days later that I went back into the class. I prayed about it, and the next day 2 days later, I went back in, and she said, "What happened to you?" I got selected. I was in the school team.
Wow.
I was in the school team. But you know, you need to practice your game over and over and over again. Then I didn't even realize. I look back now, I played cricket at district level. Didn't know I was playing cricket at the district level. But I always had to get on the train and travel 3 or 4 hours to go to trials, and you know, I had to do it myself because my dad didn't have the time, or he didn't value that. He didn't understand that principle. I can't blame that at the time. He didn't understand it, and maybe that just wasn't my journey. But you know, I played the best I could. There were always people around. The one thing I do thank my dad for in terms of cricket, you know, that Saturdays, Sundays, they were special days because you were going to the park to play with other adults. I never played a lot of cricket with young people. It's always adults.
Wow.
So you're going out to bat. You may get to bat for an over, bowl for an over with a lot of adults, and you know, you always had to try and prove your point with the adults. So yeah, because I enjoyed that. And you know, you go and you sit down just to be around other people, other families, having your rice and peas and chicken, and on a Sunday, people playing their reggae or their calypso music over in the park, and the sun's out, and you're playing a good game of cricket, and people are swearing at one another from rival clubs, but they swear at one another. But really, there was that community because nobody really wanted to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
There was just a bit of banter going back and forth. I didn't understand that at the time, but those were great memories. And at that time, it really did feel like a family. Yeah, you may not, I may not know you. You may not be my mother. You may not be my father. You may not even be a cousin. You may not even be a distant relative. But the bottom line is, that if you saw me in the street and you knew I should have been home at a certain time, you grab me by my ear and take me back to my parents' house. That is just how. That was just one of the things about community that I loved, and I don't see today.
Okay. So talk to us. Right now, you're not doing cricket anymore, but talk to us first about your cricket journey. From the time that your dad took you to the park and you got hit with the ball, and take us through your journey from that time all the way up until you actually stopped coaching cricket.
The journey had always been a struggle. Always been a struggle. Nothing ever was given to me. Never, ever. And why should it be given to you? You fight for everything you do. But I remember, playing the sport, and I had moments where I did really well, but really and truly, if I'm really honest with you, I spent more time analysing the game than I did playing it.
Okay.
There were times I'd be playing cricket 3, 4, 5 times a week, and this was during exam period time, and I love that more than I love school.
Okay.
But the way the setup was, it wasn't catered for people that looked like me to play cricket. I believe Ray Illingworth was a Yorkshireman. He was the head of selectors of cricket at the time, and there were players that would be playing for England at the time, but you could see the way they were being treated. My dad would always tell me about it.
Okay.
The West Indies were a donut plate of team world cricket, and Viv Richards was my hero. So Vivian Richards, the Black Superman. I used to watch Viv Richards come out to bat, and it was just amazing the way he chewed his gum and just take on any players in the world. And he was just a leader, and he was somebody that I studied and made my whole game a part of. And as a coach, I was a pretty fast bowler. I believe people tell me that, but I think it wasn't the ability. It was the poor coaches I had around me, and I do blame on the coaches, because when you've got an ability, you need somebody who's going to believe in you, and then believe in you and keep on you, no matter if you don't train. Keep on you. Yes. I didn't have that as a coach and as a player, and I swore I would never do that as a coach. I ensured that all the things I experienced as a player, I wouldn't do as a coach. Okay. So I where they didn't keep on me, I kept on those players. Where they allowed me to drift, I didn't allow my players to drift. And so when I actually started coaching,
before you go on about when you first started coaching, how did you make the transition from playing to coaching? What happened to make that transition?
I think I was in the middle of playing, and I just found that my love for coaching, and I'd be playing the game and just analysing what players were doing. And I thought, you know what? I just want to start coaching. And how did I get into coaching? Where did I go? I went somewhere. And I came back to Hackney, and I was offered the opportunity. It was boxing and cricket, and I remember the time I was actually in a pub waiting for this guy. I was looking for a job, and there's actually a guy who offered me. Maybe I'd come back from America. I'm not sure. Yeah, I went to America. I went for my first trip out to America.
And what did you do?
I think I was doing some boxing at the time, actually. I stopped the cricket. I actually stopped cricket, and I got involved in a bit of boxing. I started boxing. I moved to Sussex.
So tell us about boxing then. I know we'll come back to the cricket, but apparently they're intertwined.
Yeah.
So if you left cricket, then went to boxing, talk about that.
Because during the cricket, I was also doing karate as well. I did mixed martial arts. It was karate, kung fu, just mixed martial arts. And there's a company called BCKL, British Contact Karate Organisation. I fought in open contact tournaments, and I fought in I won quite a few tournaments actually. Open contact and semi-contact. I always mixed them up because I used to back fist people in full contact competitions. If you pull the back fist, you can go bang and pull it back. But if you go straight through and you draw blood or you break any bones, that's where you were disqualified. And I got disqualified from a couple of competitions because I only realised after I'd thrown a punch that was full contact and semi-contact.
Okay.
So yeah, but I had a guy who the trainer's name was Francis Nuafo,
Mm-hmm.
and I always remember Francis as a young kid. I must have been, now again, you're looking 10, 11. My dad got me into that, and he would get me mad, so I'd fight him. And the day when he backed off is when I actually hit him in the stomach, and I
Your
winded
dad.
him. Oh, my trainer.
The trainer.
I winded him. I remember trying to punch and winding him because I caught him off guard. Because I punched him when he didn't expect me to punch him.
Okay.
I said, "Didn't you tell me to keep my guard up at all times?" He said, "But that's not fair." I said, "What's fair?" I said, "It's not fair when you beat me every week. It's not fair when you chastise me every week." I didn't say it in those words. You know, so I said, "Keep your guard up at all times." So I guess it was different respect I had for my trainer, and he took me to different tournaments, and we fought in different tournaments. And it was at the end of my last tournament, I had a really good friendship. A guy that I knew really well. I knew his mum. I liked his mum a lot. I really got on with his mum. I can't remember what his name was. And we had to fight in a final. We had to fight in the final. And I beat this guy in the final. Beat him, I think, because I had much faster hands than him. He was bigger than me, but I had faster hands than him. And I think the fight was either in Wolverhampton or Northampton.
Okay.
No, this last talk was Pickett's Lock.
Okay.
Pickett's Lock, like Enfield Way. And yeah, I beat him, I think it was 3 points to 1 or 4 points to 3 points. 3 points to 1 was the semi-finals. The final was him. I beat him 4 points to nothing.
Wow. Okay.
And it was just every time he moved in, I just stepped back and bam, counted him. Step back and count, step back and count. Same move all the time. And it was just really sad. We would train together. We went to school together. We were friends. It wasn't nice. And his mum was there, and we never talked the same after that. And
because you beat him, but weren't you competing with him?
Yeah. But it was that, and and then I went to the next tournament, and I fought, and I got beat by a girl.
Wow.
I got beat by the girl because my mind went off the game. That was the first time I had a really, really interesting girl, and she'd been sweet to me before the tournament. Like we were talking all my stuff, and I'm thinking to her,
that's a lesson.
You're a girl, and that you take this. I said, "Oh, that's all right. I fight these tournaments all the time. So you might fight some of these guys. Don't worry about it." And she kept saying she'd give me a number, but she never gave me a number. And then we went to fight, and then we got drawn in the same thing. We went to fought. And this girl, I couldn't find it in myself to actually fight her.
Wow.
So she had it in herself. She was throwing kicks and punches, and all through the fight, all I did is blocking and just blocking. But when I should counter, my trainer said, "Counter!" And I'm like, "No." So you see, and every time he said counter, I just block. And she kicked me in my arm, she kicked me on my leg, she kicked me in my rib, and all points for that. And at that point, Steve. I stopped. And she goes, I said, "So am I going to get your number now?" She goes, "No, I only date men."
Wow.
So that was it. And I went home that night and I cried. Wow. But then I realised, that is it. No more. And I won a box. And then I won a box. Within a month later, I told my dad I won a box. And I found myself down at West Ham Boxing Club. The guy's name was Roy.
Okay.
And Roy said to me, I was in the gym and I was doing a few moves. "You ain't, man, you think you're Muhammad Ali. Well, you ain't Muhammad Ali. You got to keep your bloody hands up, mate. Keep your hands up. I'll tell you what, right? I want you to come down Thursday night. We'll do a bit of sparring." That was Roy, and I remember sparring, like karate sparring, and you might take a few punches here and there, but it was nothing. And then get in the ring, and he put his head guard on. I recognised that. Put his gloves on and wrapping me up, and they're all eager to wrap me up and see me fight. So the bell went, and I just remember the first round, and I was just flicking out this jab, and I was all right, and the guy was coming in, he was moving around the ring because he obviously knew what he was doing. And I'm throwing his jab, and I'm looking nice. I'm throwing the odd right hand and catching him, and he's catching me. And then he does his move where I've slipped and thrown the jab out, and he's gone under the jab and come over the top of our right hand. Was it right hand or was it left hook? Jab. I can't remember which it was. One or the other. He was slipping. He was getting inside the jab and throwing punches. I always had the hand blocked there because of the karate. I mean, getting caught 3 or 4 times. So at one point, he did it, and I grabbed his head from putting a headlock and threw the uppercut while I had him in the lock. That was something I'd learned. And he went, oh, none of this Bruce Lee shit, none of this Bruce Lee shit. Oh. And he went, he says, you've got some talent, son. You've got some talent. Took some good shots. And all this stuff is going over the top of my head. I ain't got a clue what he's talking about. You took some good shots. And, yeah, bit of good stamina. Took some good shots. Good energy. Showed a good chin, mate. And took some good shots of an ABA champion. I said, excuse me? Yeah, the geezer's an ABA champion. Yeah, he's won the ABA championship before, and he's going to go and fight again. I said, so why'd you put me in the ring with him? Oh, well, you know, mate, if you've got any good in this gym, a West Ham boxing gym, we want guys that can fight. We don't want guys that are pretenders. So we don't want key footers, and you ain't a key footer, are you? So we must stick in and see what you got. I said, cheers, thank you very much. What can I tell you then? I don't know. The journey somehow the other ended up going to Brighton and joining the gym. That was down in Southwick boxing gym, and Danny Ray and the Ray family, and started training there in the gym in Southwick, upstairs in a youth centre. And then from there, we started training down further down along south. I can't remember again. Southwick. Down just around the seafront. We trained there, the gym there, and was there for a while, and training there, boxing, did my runs and stuff. And my first amateur fight, this was at the where's the place? Crawley.
Okay.
Copthorne. First fight, and I brought all my friends along, and it was different. There was a different vibe to it from karate, a different vibe altogether, because. You know, I'd never been in a boxing ring other to that point.
Okay.
I sat around, like I was watching the audience, other people fight, and knew I was going to be. I think I was maybe second on, ended up being the main event, the last fight.
Wow.
It was my debut I was making, and I remember this was Ian Napper, who was I think it was British, Commonwealth, European flyweight champion, pro. But he just finished his last amateur bout, and he came up to me, and said to me. He's watching me on the pad. He goes, "How many fights you had?" I said, "This is gonna be my first fight." He said, "You're a one bouter. This is your first bout." Oh yeah. He goes, "Man, you got skills of somebody who's got 100 bouts."
Wow.
I went, "No, it's just my first bout." So it's gonna be first bout. So I remember, and these girls kept coming up to me. Girls again. Oh yeah, you're fighting a local geezer from Crawley. Yeah. Good fighter is, and all sorts of stuff. My trainer told me, this guy's going to come out the blocks like Mike Tyson. So get behind the jab, and as soon as he comes, double up the jab, throw the right hand as soon as he comes in. That's what my trainer told me. So I've left the gym in that mentality, and I've sat down and I watched all these Mike Tyson fights of Mike Tyson coming in and brawling, Mike Tyson coming in, you know, and I said, you've got it. I just think we use the jab and move and just keep popping the right hand. And as I hit him with the right hand, get spin him, hold him, tie him up close. That's what I kept thinking in my mind. That's what I'm going to do. Had it sit in my mind. And I remember now the ring walk. And I got in the ring, and they called my name out. I put my hands up. He called his name out and put his hands up. Okay. He goes, seconds up. 1-on-1. Now, bearing in mind, all the sparring, all the training I've done is under lights. Like it's in a gym, lights are up, you're sparring with your mates, you're having a little giggle and stuff. You know, it gets a little serious when you're doing the sparring, but you've got your trainer shouting out in the corner. It's not the same as the lights suddenly going down, a crowd of people, which is they're eating the food now to watch you fight. It's a different scenario. The lights go down, seconds up. The lights just go down, and then this image just comes forward. And guess what? The image isn't coming to greet you, to kiss you, to hug you. Even if somebody's going to punch you, don't come punch you as they tell you, look, what's your problem, mate? They're going to lead up into it. Right? Most they're going to lead up to it. I never experienced anything really like in my life. So direct experience of this guy now coming to it. And even when you're sparring, you know what's going on. So you're in a fight now. So you're in your mind, you're like, this geezer's coming to me and he's looking to hurt me. So I'm going, right, I'm going to move. My legs won't go anywhere. They're stuck in mud, completely stuck in mud.
Wow.
right? It's stuck in mud, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? What am I going to do about this? How am I going to handle this situation?
Mm-hmm.
So, I said, behind the jab, so popping the jab, 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 popping the jab,
Mm-hmm.
popping the jab, and he's moving his head like Tyson does, yeah?
Okay.
But he's not moving, he's not coming in like that, side to side. He's moving his head like that, but he's feinting and stepping back and moving to the sides.
Okay.
So I said, when he steps back, he draws out, I'm going to throw a right hand over top and see what happens. So as he stepped back, I feinted the jab and dropped the right head. I'm going to drop the right hand. I dropped the right hand. I'm looking for him. He's over there. So I'm in, what? So I looked across. 1, 2.
Oh, he was on the
3.
floor.
He was on the floor.
Oh,
Didn't realise it. Didn't realise I was on the floor. So the referee's pushed me off, and he's going 4, 5. So he's got up. I said, get him. So my training's gone animated. So I've gone into him. This guy, he was like the Undertaker. He got up. He's like literally got up, looked at me, and he started coming at me, throwing all these punches. And don't ask me, this must have been all training, but I kept saying to myself, keep the chin tucked in and make him hit you on your forehead. So he's catching me on my forehead. My forehead's catching me. There, just the forwards. I'm blocking at the forehead. Right? And I catch him, boom, the bell goes in and around. I go back to the corner, I sit down, and instead of spitting in the bucket of nerves, I spit on my trainer.
Oh.
What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? I remember saying it to me, and I was one of the Ray's brothers, and he goes, get out there and stop him. Second round went out. Round 2 gone out again. Referee says, he puts us, you punch him like that again, I'm going to disqualify you. What, disqualify me for punching? I said to the referee, I just punch him. They're illegal punches. What, on his chin and in his temple? What's illegal about that? So it wasn't the back of his head I was punching him clean on the chin, and he was going over.
Okay.
So again, same thing comes again, he come charging at me again, big right hand, dropped him on the floor.
Wow.
Guy gets up, got him on the ropes now, and I've got him on the ropes, and I'm going for him for the finish. Referee pulls me off him, disqualifies me.
Wow.
This guy, you know how bad a state he's in. He's got the trophy in his hand, and his head's still like that.
Wow.
Right? And he's still holding the trophy up, and his head's like that. His legs are still groggy, and his trainer's having to hold him up. He's actually holding him up while he's holding the trophy.
So why did you actually get disqualified?
Well, before I could even question it, the referee jumped out of the ring, ran to the limousine that was waiting for him, and left the arena. Wow. That referee ended up getting suspended by the ABA.
Oh, wow.
The decision never got overturned, but I never challenged it because I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Okay.
And my trainer, when I said, what the hell was that? What the hell was that? Why did they get disqualified? For what? He said, mate, it's political. It's political with Southwick. They don't like Southwick Boxing Club. That's what it was. I think it's Fisher's Gym of the boxing.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and they don't like Southwick Boxing Club. We're going way back now.
So let's move it forward.
Yeah.
Though. But so how far did your boxing go?
Wait, then after I changed. This is a significant part because people who know about me in the boxing will probably want to hear a little bit more about this. I think I moved. After that, I said, well, if my trainer, first of all, gave me the incorrect information as a fighter, he gave me the wrong information. He knew about this fight I was going to fight. He gave me the incorrect information about the fighter. I wasn't fit enough for the fight. I wasn't prepared in the way I should have been prepared. And this is a sport where I don't want to get my chin taken off and get knocked out. For this is serious. You don't play the sport. So I end up changing gyms.
Okay.
I can't remember how I learned about this gym, but I changed gyms. And the gentleman's name was Paul. And I knew the first day I met Paul, that he was going to be a good trainer for me.
Okay.
Paul, I remember Paul, he first looked at me and says, I can make you a super fighter, mate. I'll tell you I'll make you a super fighter. You got bloody well, listen to me. You come in here, you train 4 times a week minimum. You train me. You listen to what I've got to say. You got a problem with that? Oh, no. I've got a problem. I trained.
Okay.
I trained. I remember once she said to me, I was arguing. I said, why do I have to keep my hands up? I can box like this if I want to. He says, do you want me to show you why you don't keep your hands up? Do you want me to show you? I said, all right. Get your gloves. Like my trainer at the time, he was 5'3".
Okay.
And I'm around 5'10", 5'11". So guy gets me, and he was the size of a featherweight, yeah? He says, right, I'll show you why you don't keep your hands up, right? And you know what he did? He
Right.
started to spar with me.
Okay.
He says, like, cut the music. And he got in the ring and started sparring with me. This guy could box. And he was moving his head, just slipping in, slipping in. I'm just popping a jab and I'm doing the thing. And he cut me left hook. Pow! Hit me left hook. Hit me the right hand to the body. The ropes. He really roughed me up. And he said to me, after he went, that's why you keep your hands up.
Wow.
So I respected him for that. I really respect that moment with him was so significant.
Wow.
He took me in like family, and I tell you, he was a fantastic boxing coach. He taught me how to box going forward, taught me how to box backwards, showed me lateral movement, the history of the sport, of course. But I didn't realise that my girlfriend at the time, her father, and he went to school together, which leads us into the first fight under Paul. It was in Eastbourne, the 1066 Club in Eastbourne. And oh boy, boxing, having a girlfriend. I mean, anyone out there who boxes and has got a girlfriend, who has got an unsupportive girlfriend, will understand what I'm talking about here. They support you up to the fight where you're going to fight, and they're crying and they're on the telephone to you. And I say, you know what? If you're going to cry, just stay at home. I want to be there for you. I love you. Anyway. This was like a family outing. So everybody is driving to Eastbourne to see the fight. And I'm in Brighton. Everyone's driving to Eastbourne to see this fight. And it's like, Ingram's fighting. And this time it was in proper shape. You know, the night before I remember drinking water and the body being pecked up and really ripped and ready to go. I returned to arena, and the guy that we fought was a guy actually from that area. And Robin Reed, who was the WBC champion, was making his comeback. He made his comeback fight against this pro. So he was the big name He was a big name to those people in the area as a pro fighter. He'd fought the former world champion. He was there tonight, and it was his sort of thing. Anyway, so the 1066 Club, my then girlfriend decided that she would come because everyone else was going. So she came up, they drove up, and my best mate was there at the time as well. And oh, it's different. I remember in the changing rooms. He goes, I'm sure he goes, I thought I'd let you know that you're half for half, yeah. I used to go to school with our man. Oh, great! Thanks for letting me know that. It's great. Not the fact that the old man didn't particularly like me. There's another thing altogether. We didn't talk about that. But anyway, so he said, right. He said, you know what? I want concentration from you. If you do what I've told you to do, we win the fight. You don't do what I told you to do, you don't have to beat. Only have to beat him. You're gonna have to beat me in sparring afterwards. So you either get rid of this geezer, because all the guys we've been sparring with prepared for this fight. I had excellent sparring for this one. Chill John. I'd sparred 8 rounds with him, and he was actually who turned pro. Was turning pro. He was a world kickboxing champion, but he's a good boxer. And he fought I can't remember, John Thaxton. He fought, and he got Thaxton knocked him out a couple of rounds, but to get to level to fight John Thaxton was, you know, John Thaxton was British champion, so John Thaxton could punch. And yeah, I knew I prepared well, because when the jab was so sharp that I was cutting people in sparring. Guys that were able to normally walk in training, I was cutting them in sparring, so that made me realise I was ready for the fight. So I remember going out to the ring, and I was so focused going out to the ring. My girlfriend was crying, walking to the ring. I was like, shut up. And I was going to the ring now. And my mate was looking at me, he looked at me, goes, boy, this is, you ready, man? You ready? And I just walked. I remember stepping into the ring, and I don't know why it is I always have to fight in everyone's backyard. So again, I'm in someone else's backyard. Bell goes, first round. We're both feeding each other out. Then I used the double jab. Jab, right hand. The double jab, right hand. Psh, and I hit. Psh. Next thing I see, the guy's against the ropes, and he's got a big cut against his eye. Right? The bell goes, go up to the corner, trying to sit down, trying to say, who are you playing at? I told you, back him up, beat him up. Back him up, beat him up. Don't allow him to set. Second round goes out. So I'm on the jab, double the jab, right hand. He backs up against the ropes. I've got him against the rope. I hold him, put one hand out here, blind him with the left hand, and then bang the right hand in, and then the referee stops the fight, pulls me to one side, and the guy's streaming with blood, yeah? And he's saying, don't stop the fight. They're trying to patch the guy up in the corner. I mean, this is an amateur bout. Why are they patching the guy up for? The fight should be stopped. Oh, no, they're busy trying to patch a man up, all getting cotton wool. And the head guard trying to patch the guy up. So I said, I'm not having a repeat of what happened last time. I'm going to finish it this time. So he comes back again, double jab, right hand, grabbed him against the right hand, and I remember watching, it was the Bruno versus Lewis fight, and Lewis hit Bruno with an uppercut, and I remember doing the same thing. I held him with a left jab, and then threw the uppercut, boom, his head went back, and the referee stopped the fight. And after all that shenanigans, right? Do you know when I got in the ring, what the dad had to say to me? He travelled, what, 2 hours to an hour and a half, 2 hours to go to Eastbourne. He said to me, you made a meal of that, mate. You could have stopped him in the first round. So my trainer's there, and his missus, they were happy. He said, you could have stopped that fight in the first round, easy. So he says, you know what? I believe in you so much. I'm going to send you to the Novice Championships, ABA Novice Championships, with my 3rd bout.
Okay.
And wow, I remember it. We were in London, and I prepared like I did normally for any fight. Prepared well. But again, girlfriend this time, the relationship with my girlfriend wasn't the same.
Okay.
There was more drama in that. I realized that I wanted to box. She didn't want me to box.
Okay.
Dynamics. I can't blame her. It was my decision. What I should have done is not be in a relationship with her and just focus on my boxing. It was my mistake. But anyway, she, again, the same charade. Oh, I don't want you going there. I've been training for 8 weeks to fight. I'm training. You go, you get your bicycle, you see me go on my run down at Brighton Beach, you see me run up and down the steps. You're happy with that. Now I've got to fight, you want to start crying about it. Well, instead, you care for me, but hey, you're more of a detriment to me because I'm worried about you instead of focusing on my opponents. So, anyway, everything I didn't want to happen on the night happened. Okay. First thing, my trainer said, don't eat anything. Now, we were there from 9 o'clock here. No, from 1 o'clock. We didn't have fight until 7 o'clock in the evening. Wow. Right? Okay. So that's not good. So I said, you know what? I bet you I'm going to get some McDonald's, which I was going to eat. I was just got some fries. I'll eat some fries. I bet you. As I'm about to eat the fries, I'm going to get called to fight. Well, the guy I'd been sparring was 6'2", and he was a light heavy. Okay. Yeah, I was a welterweight, so he was my sparring partner. Then my trainer and I would use, after I sparred all guys that were welterweights, I sparred 5 rounds with 3 different welterweights. So and when I was knackered, then he brought in this big guy. So I had to use my legs to get away from him. So it was psychological. What he basically said is I would use my feet more with a guy that's bigger who had the power to cause, So that was good. It was good. He had his reach, believe it or not, he was 6'3". Wow. Right, and my reach was as long as his. Wow. So it was standing something I could jab him if I wanted to, which was good. But when you have something like that, you've got so much respect for, and you're watching him. I'm watching him do what, and he gets his jaw broken in the first round.
You broke his jaw.
He got his jaw broken in the first round. I'm watching the fight, and I hear. Wow. First round jaw gets broken. I was seeing him. Wow. I was next up.
Oh wow.
So my trainer's busy trying to get something organised. He was panicking. Wow. And he said to me, listen, just back him up, beat him up. That's all you need to, back him up, beat him up. We've trained hard enough, just be ready. Wow. I'm ready. And in my mind I'm thinking, what I don't want tonight is some geezer with a skinhead and an army man. I don't want that. I don't want that. I really don't want that. So I've gone to ring. I've got in the ring. Guess who's coming to the ring? A skinhead, short, and got tattoos. I thought it couldn't get any worse, could it? See, he's looking at me, he's like this. So I thought, here we go. The call us both out. And anyway, ding ding, round 1 comes out, moving his head, pinged him on the jab. We're kind of same thing. Pinged him with the jab, and now the right hand's the key punch for me. Pinged him with the jab, bang, got him with the right hand, hurt him. Wow. Got him the ropes. Left jab, right hand. I've thrown 2 right hands, bang bang, quickly, and I've seen his eyes for that split second. As I see his eyes rolling in his head. I'm seeing his eyes rolling. I should have thrown another one. but for something I saw in his eyes, I saw something in his eyes, and I'm like, what, you get him, you go bang, bang. And it was the first time in my life I saw a fighter's eyes roll on me. I thought, shit, I can't do it again. So that split second of me going again, that probably would have finished the fight off, I pulled back. And I went back to the corner. And the trainer said, what the hell are you doing? I couldn't explain it. Get out there, back him up. Second round, him with the right hand, my thumb gone, blew up, literally in pain, agony. So now I've got to fight this fight with just a jab. So I think the fight was even, round a piece.
No, it was a draw.
Draw second round. The third round now, I popped this guy's head with a jab. Boom, 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 just a jab, all the home, just jab, 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 jab. And he threw 4 punches in that round. I remember it because I remember catching him. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as he did the 4th, I remember grabbing as his front, catching him by his backside and pushing him to the ropes and turning him and spinning him and then throwing me on him. The fight ended, and I think that in itself was the end of really. My thumb blew up, and then my trainer's missus went to the corner after the fight. He said, that's a good fight. He's a tough kid. He said to me, he said about me. And he's an army guy. He must have had about 10 bouts at least. And he said, oh, you're a tough kid. You're strong. And you know, you do cuddle one another. What's your name? We talk. So he used to box in the army and, you know. And he's still part of the army, and this is something he enjoys doing. And, you know, the trainer said, oh, well, you know, Ingram's a pussy. That's what my trainers, no disrespect to my trainer, but I didn't think she was entitled to say that sort of things. And
you had a female trainer?
No, my trainer's missus.
She said that.
Yeah, she went to that. It wasn't nice. And my thumb was out here. It was like really swollen. They've experienced it like that. And I boxed 2 rounds basically with one hand, in pain, right? Didn't feel sorry for myself, and got on with it.
So